Hi, I'm Kate Amelia Jensen from the Villains of Valley View, and you're watching Disney Channel. I did that.
Okay, so I just got through eating 4 burgers, so after I finished up catching up on the Disney Channel triple header, probably the last one of the summer, because now we're on to the best part of that, the best part of that triple header that we're sadly not going to see now, for the balance of the summer. The Villains of Valley View, Ultraviolet, Black Scorpion, hour, and we're starting off with Villains of Valley View, the Johnny Benson installment, aka the summer finale of that. But how about that cliffhanger? I knew that shit was gonna end in a cliffhanger, I just didn't know how, but now I know. Now we got a new asshole to worry about, Declan, played by Kai Moya. So I know Kai Moya is a good guy in real life, but he makes Declan a damn good asshole, a damn fucking good one. I mean, so let's get into it. So, and I knew I'm gonna just go straight to the cliffhanger part before I talk about the rest of the episode. When Hartley met Declan, I just knew from looking at the Villains of Valley View wiki that he was going to be a bad, he was actually just being an asshole behind, Hartley's back and shit. I just knew. Because I've noticed this trend and pattern that's developed with all these shows I've watched, where the bad characters are actually when you don't know what happens at all yet, whether what happens and or how it happens, you're going to think that, excuse me, sorry, you're going to think they're a good guy at first. You're going to think they're a full-on good guy, like how Labyrinth fans who followed it from the beginning before I came along in 2015, Jesus Christ, before I came along in 2015, and, mid-season 4, right before the original ended its run, who followed it from the beginning when I still lived in Brook Park in the Sandhurst house and was stuck in Victorious Land on Nickelodeon. Well, all those OG Labyrinth followers, Fritz, Chris, and Brian before me, all of them thought Marcus was a good guy, if y'all remember that. Everybody thought Marcus was a good guy. But then when he was interacting with Adam, Chase, and Mrs. Oliveras, Brie, and it was basically he exposed his true colors whenever they were not around, and it was, when Leo was there, if y'all remember, the Marcus-Leo rivalry. Marcus would show his true colors with Leo, but in order to, hide his identity into the real bionic superhuman, Adam, Mrs. Oliveras, and Chase, he acted all nice guy around them and shit, and it took until, the events of Leo versus Evil to, for people, longtime Labyrinth followers before me, to realize that Marcus was indeed Marcus was indeed the bad guy. And then it was pretty obvious come Bionic Showdown, the 2-parter from Chris and Brian, that he was basically, Leo was right all along, and Mrs. Oliveras, Chase, and Adam didn't believe him. So yeah, this is exactly what we're seeing with Declan. I mean, obviously, I knew with Marcus only because of the time I came into the Labyrinth universe, started following Chris and Brian's adventures. I only knew because I saw him for the first time in the original verse of Labyrinth's series finale, The Vanishing. So when I saw him, I remember that night asking myself, wait a minute, who's this Marcus guy? But here's a little fun fact about how this trend to pattern kept developing every 3 years until the streak was broken with Night Squad in 2019, which was a John D. Beck, Ron Hart project. So when Victorious ended February 2nd, 2013, which was a Saturday, the Spurs played a game that night against the Washington Wizards. This was on Sandhurst, and it was in San Antonio. Duncan goes down with an injury with a knee on the one side and an ankle on the other side. And even though he was walking on it just fine, and nothing happened, he still was out for a long period of time, and he came back just in the nick of time for the Spurs-Cavs game here in Ohio 2 days before my 19th birthday. But that Spurs-Wizards game in San Antonio before the rodeo road trip, the night Victorious ended, the Spurs ended up winning. It's like, the trend and pattern I'm developing because Isabella Pappas and her Villains of Value castmates don't know this yet because they didn't know me when this trend of pattern kept developing. I'll explain the whole point of this after I tell the next story. 3 years later, when I started following Chris and Brian on Lab Rat for the first time, and exactly the day after Victorious got canceled, it was like already a day after the 3-year anniversary of Victorious got canceled. Lab Rats aired their final episode ever. Spurs had a game also on Fox Sports Southwest because the win against the Wizards runs on Southwest. We still had DirecTV, and both during this Lab Rats finale and during the time I was a Victoria fan on Sandhurst. So when we still had DirecTV here, those Spurs had, were still winning, and it was Tim's last year. This one was against the Pelicans, and Anthony Davis was there. So Ginobili goes down with an injury, and it was his testicles. I kid you not. That's why it's a testicular surgery, because I think he got kneed in that area, and just like Duncan 3 years earlier, Spurs ended up winning. So I noticed this trend and pattern that kept developing is like every 3 years, every time a show I like comes to an end, the Spurs happen to have a game and someone ends up getting hurt. To pick up the suspense for me, and then after the injured player exits the game, they go and they just go, what's the term I'm looking for? They just go full demon mode and win the game by a huge margin. So Duncan in 2013 with Victorious, Ginobili in 2016 with Lab Rats. We could have had that trend pattern keep developing when Night Squad ended in 2019, during a Spurs playoff game, but nobody ended up getting hurt, and plus the dynasty was already coming to an end by that time anyway. It was a playoff game, and we ended up losing it to Denver because DeJounte wasn't playing, so therefore the trend pattern ended by 2019, so yeah, for those of you at Villains of Value who didn't know that, Chris and Brian did, and so did Beck and Hart, but all of you guys on Villains of Value did not know that shit. So, yeah, but so what we're seeing with Declan is exactly what we're seeing with Marcus. So when I met Marcus, I was already way behind. So after while Elite Force was running and after Elite Force ended the way it did, I still kept going back to season 3, 2, and 1 of Lab Rats, and that's how I figured out the Marcus story and what led him into what I first saw. So that's the only reason why I knew about Marcus being bad, because I saw his season 4 appearance first before I saw the original appearances. So with the clan, I know some people who have not looked at the story yet and probably watched it the first time. Well, it's more obvious with Declan than it was with Marcus, so everybody knows Declan is the bad guy. I mean, obviously, yeah, everybody, not just me, everybody knows. Everybody fucking knows. So, therefore, we know, we're saying with Declan is exactly what we saw with Marcus on Labra, except Declan is more obvious, and, he's, I know some people who don't understand these little details, like the youngins of today. They don't understand these little details, may think Declan's a good guy and probably not seen the dark, probably only seen the nice side of him, and just probably I think have got to the part after where he shows true colors after Hartley walks away. But if everybody stays for the whole thing, they know. So therefore, I want to see what no good tricks not I want to see, but I can't wait to see what no good tricks he's got up his sleeve come October when we get to this 2022-2023 television season and season 2 Adventures in Autumn. Now let's talk about the rest of the episode. So Amy, on the other hand, had a right to be livid, with not only Hartley but also Jake. She was more livid at Jake than she was at Hartley, and she talked it out and repaired a friendship with Hartley first, which was the easier part. And the only reason why she forgave Jake, he just went back to being, chaos, just to win her over, and it worked. And Hartley was right. Just because he's doing, you're forgiving him for going back to his old ways, that shouldn't be the way it works. And when they got to the little tower scene, Amy realized she was right, and so said Jake didn't, said Jake, you don't have to do this just because you want me to forgive you. I was gonna forgive you no matter what. You can't. And as Hartley said, and we've known this our whole lives, unless your name is Kawhi Leonard the Snake, you can't be bitter forever. So therefore, yeah. But I'm sorry. So when they turn to leave, Hartley, of course, couldn't wait for Jake to put the damn thing down, knock the power out. I thought we were going to get a whole city battle like we did with Lab Rats, with Rise of the Secret Soldiers, an episode of Lab Rats I haven't seen as of yet, but somehow they managed, distract the workers. I didn't give a shit about the workers anyway. Who gives a fuck about them? But distract the workers, and then they were fixing the little tower, and of course Billy Badass was having a hard time, connecting the wires together. So Eva / Surge flew in to electrocute it like Bobby Hamilton, and to make it easier for her. And the fact that Colby almost died because, the shape-shifting glitching from his normal kid self to old man, and the fact that, Vic / oh my god, what the fuck is his name? Vic and I haven't seen the villain side of Vic that much, so I have to check this shit out like Kevin LePage. Craniac. So everybody's villain name is easy to remember except for Vic. So Craniac / Vic was actually this close to fixing him sooner. He kept making all these predictions that he didn't get right. And of course, Billy Badass, Hartley, and Jake's stupidity, ended up, not only costing the whole rest of the city lights, but their own house, power, which kind of fucked up, Vic / Craniac's, procedure to get Colby back. And so when they did the little thingamajig and put the power back on, they finally got Colby back to normal, and they're lucky considering, although to be fair, the alternate Colbys did a hell of a job. The middle-aged Colby actor and the old man Colby actor, they all did a hell of a job. Even the young adult one did a hell of a job, so kudos to them. But, yeah, it was crazy mid-season / summer finale. I mean, wow, the Johnny Benson did something. So now we get a little bit of a break. So whenever we go on a Friday night, we can stay out longer. We can record Bunked and always watch it later, considering, like I said in the Bunked reaction video earlier, it's earlier after dark. It's after dark now. It was middle of the night over here. We don't live tweet Bunked. We never live tweeted shows like that, so we can just record it and, come back and watch it after we park the bus the rest of the summer, and we go on a Friday night. So, therefore, since, it was the midsummer finale of Villains and Ultra, and we could just put it to the test for the first time, and it ended up paying off. So, last night proved that we do not need, it doesn't always require YouTube bangers and YouTube ragers to make a banger night in general, so we had a good night last night, and we made up for it tonight by doing the damn thing, the the last Disney Channel triple header. So, Villains of Valley View, what can I say? Isabella Pappas, you were phenomenal. I thank you so much for being as good of a friend to me without me having to meet you in person, video chatting me. I hope when you get back from Italy, like you said you were going to, you're going to call me again so we can talk, and hopefully you'll be able to reactivate your Facebook account so I can be friends with you on that too. And then maybe I can, add your mom too, because I found Lisa on there. And like I said, the only way when you don't have a request button for someone without ever trying to send them a friend request ever, the only way you can get the button is if you friend a mutual friend of theirs. So if I friend your mom, who I messaged on Messenger about it but hasn't got back to me, if she adds me and I confirm it, and then Izzy reactivates her Facebook account, then the button will appear and I get to press the button myself. So therefore, hopefully Izzy will show Lisa this video, so that way we know we're on the same page right here. But now let's move on to the Johnny Benson installment / the summer finale of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion, which was also the mid-season finale. Roll it.
Hi, I'm Brandon Rossell from Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion, and you're watching Disney Channel. Cool.
Okay, before we go over the summer finale slash mid-season finale of Ultraviolet Black Scorpion, one more Villains of Valley View related comment. Chris Peterson, I want to warn you, like Ward Burton, I did follow you on TikTok from both of my accounts, my main with 11K and my second account, the on YT, which is my account for YouTube updates if you wish to follow that. So I just wanted you to be aware, Brian, I was able to finally get a request button for you again. It was 365 days set, but have passed since I did the one initially, and the shit didn't work. So that's another thing how Facebook works. When you send someone a friend request and the shit doesn't work, which means the button goes away, and then you have to either have them send you one first if you still want to be friends with them, or you have to wait 365 days for the button to reappear for you to press it again. So I got the button back, so I pressed it. So hopefully this time I'll be able to be friends with Brian more. So, and sadly, speaking of Brian, unfortunately, Brian Blanco as Luis Leon was absent tonight, but we'll probably see him again in October when we get to this 2022-2023 television season to finish all this shit out and start season 2 Adventures in Autumn. Now, let's go over the Johnny Benson installment of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion, which was also their own summer finale slash mid-season finale. So, start off with the cliffhanger like I did with Villain just seconds ago. So Tiago is getting suspicious that, Violet's hiding something, her ultraviolet identity. So we don't know if Tiago knows or not, because they ended on a cliffhanger where they were in mid-conversation and JC was asking, what are you guys talking about? And of course you know how, I'll reiterate the full details of this in a minute. You know how, Violet was, and, Cruz was acting weird earlier, which I'll read to in a minute. Well, Violet and her brother, Tiago, were acting weird in front of their dad, Juan Carlos, and before Juan Carlos could figure out what was going on, that's when the episode ended on a cliffhanger. So, yeah, so Tiago knows that Violet's hiding something. We'll figure out if he finds out or the rest of the family finds out, or even anyone else finds out. When like I said, when we get to the fall, to finish this shit off, start the 2022-2023 television season, and kick off season 2 of Adventures in Autumn. So, hang on, I'm trying to find a more comfortable position, and oh shit, watch the table. Oh. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I'm charging my phone and the damn cord was in the way of my back. So, anyway, yeah, now this is what I want to read to. Catalina and Maya was noticing that Violet and Cruz were acting weird, which proves that they're hiding their identity, but no, Catalina and Maya don't know it. How does Maya be suspicious that, Violet's acting weird when she knows about the secret? I mean, how? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Dan, Benji, Leo, Joe, can you guys explain that to me? How does Maya indicate that Violet and Cruz are acting weird when she's the only one that knows their secret, those secret identity of those two, of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion? And none of it makes sense at all whatsoever, because Catalina noticed they're acting weird, even though, to be fair, Catalina, I'm surprised they didn't have, Lorena Jorge act weird in character as Catalina, because she has a secret identity too, as Cascada, but yet she was the one acting normal. How does that make fucking sense? I mean, I don't work for Disney. I'm not one of the honchos at Disney Channel or Ultraviolet, so I'm just a fan. Only real thing I can do is, ask questions and, be curious and just wonder. And take wild fucking guesses. Anyway, so Cascada, which is really Catalina, was trying to convince Black Scorpion to go easy on her. And I get it, rules, saying understand rules are rules, but she's a superhero and you're just too rough on her. And Catalina, Cascada was letting Ultraviolet do all these things that Black Scorpion wasn't letting her do. So, and Black Scorpion didn't take it too kindly, and so she was like, "You promised me not to go near Cascada again." And Ultraviolet, considering if she would have told him how she really felt, he would have blew up on her, and so she kind of lied to him and said, "I promise I won't," and he believed her too. He walked away and did a little angry vanish thing, and then Cascada came back to recruit her to go and stop at that water tower and do all this crazy shit that she didn't mind having Ultraviolet do, but Black Scorpion would. And I get it. Black Scorpion, towards the end, which I'll get to in a little bit, was being protective of his niece, make sure nothing happens, but that's one, Cascada was trying to teach him it's one thing to be family and protect people. It's another thing to be too overprotective and be rough on them and be a little too harsh, with the rule making and shit. And so when they try to fight that, that battery suited criminal, Ultraviolet kind of almost got hurt, and Black Scorpion was kind of starting to feel bad, saying, take that asshole down for you. I mean, he didn't say it like that, but that's how he meant it. And so Cascada and Black Scorpion handled it. And so I love how that battery-suited criminal tried to hurt Cascada, but he failed because he kept, she could walk through the wall, so she was using her visibility to go through him like John Andretti, kind of like Mira Nova and Buzz Lightyear Star Command, an old Toon Disney show did the little walking through the walls for being Tenjian Princess, but oh my god, yeah. So she was walking through him, and so they gave her the advantage to take the battery out and discharge him. And so Black Scorpion, and Cascada was trying to teach him, see, this is why she hangs up with me, because you're too rough on her. And then Black Scorpion later admitted, yeah, I get it. I was too rough on you, and you're no more than just my family. You're also a superhero. So I'm going to loosen up and give you a little bit more freedom, but not too much. He said a little bit, but not a lot. So therefore, not 2 a.m, but I'm glad he's letting her make decisions on her own, because we had this discussion in the earlier episode with, her, real life Violet, her, Isabella Pappas is blowing up my Instagram. Holy shit. It's kind of funny that we're fucking, making this video as Izzy's blowing this shit up, but this is the Ultraviolet hour, not the Villains of Valley hour, but even though there's a video centered around both shows, but okay, so he did promise her he would loosen up and, go a little easier and make decisions on her own. You're allowed to make decisions on her own, and that's very good. I mean, we had this discussion with, the Dave version of Ultraviolet, just Violet, how, Juan Carlos was trying to tell Nina, I get you don't want to let go of her because she's still your child, and guess what, I don't either, but you have to face the reality. Now that she's getting older, we have to let her make certain decisions, not only make the certain decisions on her, make her make her own decisions, but also let her worry about certain things on her own. So that's what I'm trying to teach my mom. I mean, if my dad were here, he'd probably worry a lot too. I mean, he didn't have that kind of worrisome attitude when, he was in my everyday life, on Sandhurst, before it started getting dangerous in Brook Park. He let me stay all I wanted until I felt like I was ready to come home, or if a neighbor sent me home first. And he did that here, but as soon as, he started his new life and left my everyday life, my mom kind of changed it because, she worries, and I get it, my grandparents worry, and I'm trying to teach them that, that the show has showcased me. When your grandkids get older, A, let them make their own decisions, B, let them have their own self-awareness, and 3, let them worry about certain things on their own now. So that's what I'm trying to teach them. So that's what Black Scorpion was doing with the superhero side of them at night. And I get it. Cruz was not happy that, his nephew, Tiago, was, having this one dude that worked for him switch characters without his permission and just threw him out in anger out of spite. But it ended up working, Tiago helping that, Estrella guy. I mean, the Estrella guy, I already forgot his original name, but I'm too lazy to look, and I'm in a rush to get this shit video fucking done. And so with Tiago helping him, he actually won his match, considering, originally when he was that other original name, he was choking like Chuck Woolery. When Tiago helped him, even if Cruz did not approve of it, he won. And so he even said himself, make sure you tell your nephew that I said thank you, and that, I couldn't have done this without him. So yeah, that was pretty cool to see. And anything else that happened in this episode? Nope. That's pretty much all to talk about. But anyway, I'm going to go respond to Izzy and go grab an ice cold 16-ounce bottle of Coke. I might have some Tim Duncan reenactments, some plays from his career that most people, Spurs fans alike mostly, don't remember, outside of me, don't remember. So, therefore, I might sneak in a Tim Duncan kind of recreate tomorrow. I'm trying to get with Tyler next door, to do a Tim Duncan reenactment with him. I've been trying to rekindle all my old Sandy Ruiz friendships that I have not touched since, the early days I lived here. Now that everybody's getting older, I'm trying to, spend some time with them again, before they move on. And, some of the younger ones that are growing up fast, I'm trying to cherish every moment I have with them before they grow up and move on to finally get old to the point where they get close to moving on before they move on. So, therefore, when I had a kid, last year on TikTok, complained that I was doing stuff with his mom and sister more than I was doing with him. So I was with them yesterday saying, don't worry. I mean, I remembered his comment. I told him I remember what you said on TikTok and how you complain. I said, don't worry, I'm going to do stuff with you. He wants to do it Monday. But at first, weather was looking promising for Monday. But it might rain now, so we're going to figure something out. If we don't do it Monday, then we're going to do it Tuesday. So, therefore, Jax, you don't have to worry. If it rains Monday, Tuesday will be the alternate plan because the weather's looking more promising. But anyway, let's get the fuck out of here. Have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Life will give you a lot of lows, but when you hit a high, enjoy it. It ain't for the weak. Goddamn, be you. You have to try harder to do less. You can't deport a dream. Sometimes the worst things in life lead to the best things. Always bet on the side of love. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Sometimes you just gotta be present. You never fail until you stop trying, and never pays to worry too much about things. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. It's never too late to turn the day around, and pace yourself. So take care, everyone. Good night, and I will see you all for that next video. Remember, probably a Tim Duncan kind of recreate tomorrow. That's the only fucking thing I'm going for, is a full Tim Duncan kind of recreate episode, or just a mini, reenactment video or something. But always remember, keep an eye out for more poker game nights from next month all the way going through November, and we take the December off and we do the season 1 finale in January. Be on the lookout for more Garra Acción y Sudor, real life NBA Jam, and be on the lookout sometime, hopefully next month, for real life Need for Speed. Probably 3 episodes only. There's going to be little time left in the summer to do it. 2 lap knockouts, doing the NAS bike track in the regular direction and in reverse, and then the 3rd episode, Hot Pursuit mode, and then, of course, the usual Bunk reaction videos and Necker Lele reaction videos, which I think I'm going to do tomorrow, if there's time, and or it depends on how I feel. So, see you later, everyone.